Have you ever paused to consider how a seemingly private and personal act, such as masturbation, could silently impact your heart and mind, especially after the age of 65? As we grow older, we often focus on well-known aspects of health, such as maintaining a balanced diet, engaging in regular exercise, and nurturing social connections. These elements are frequently discussed as essential for a healthy life in our later years. However, there is one topic that rarely gets the attention it deserves: the way we approach solo intimacy. When practiced with mindfulness and care, this personal ritual can serve as a powerful tool for healing, relaxation, and overall well-being. Yet, when done without proper awareness, it can just as easily undermine the very systems we strive to protect as we age, such as our cardiovascular health, hormonal balance, and mental clarity. In this detailed exploration, we will delve into 5 common mistakes that people over the age of 65 often make during masturbation. These are small but significant choices that might be disrupting your energy, weakening your heart, and leaving your body more tense than relaxed. This discussion is not about judgment or shame. Instead, it is about gaining insight and understanding how to transform this private act into a moment of self-care that supports your health in a deeply meaningful way. Let us begin by considering the broader context of aging and how it affects our bodies. As we age, our physical systems undergo significant changes. Our blood flow slows down, our hormonal rhythms shift, and our hearts require more time to adapt to physical exertion, even during activities as private as self-pleasure. These changes are natural, but they mean that the habits we may have developed in our younger years might not serve us as well in our later decades. Masturbation, often seen as a simple act of release, can have profound effects on our physical and emotional well-being, depending on how we approach it. The choices we make during this personal time can either nourish our bodies or inadvertently cause strain, particularly for those over 65, whose bodies are more sensitive to stress and exertion. By understanding these effects, we can learn to engage in this act in a way that promotes relaxation, improves sleep, enhances blood flow, and fosters a stronger, more balanced connection between our body and mind. Stay with me as we explore these 5 mistakes in detail, because by avoiding them, you can reclaim your solo time as a space for restoration, not just a fleeting moment of release. The benefits of making these changes are significant: better sleep, improved circulation, and a renewed sense of harmony within yourself. One of the most common mistakes that people over 65 make when engaging in self-pleasure is treating it like a quick task to be completed, something to check off their daily list. Many individuals approach masturbation with a sense of urgency, dedicating just a few minutes to the act, seeking a quick release, and then returning to their routine. This hurried approach might seem efficient, but it can have unintended consequences for your health, particularly as you age. The truth is, when you rush through this intimate part of your life, you are not only missing out on the deeper pleasure that comes from a more mindful experience, but you may also be putting unnecessary stress on your heart, causing spikes in your blood pressure, and keeping your nervous system trapped in a cycle of tension, rather than allowing it to find relief. This is a critical point to understand, because your body at 65 does not function the same way it did at 30. The physiological changes that come with aging mean that your body needs a different approach to activities that involve physical exertion, even something as personal as masturbation. Have you ever paused to consider how a seemingly private and personal act, such as masturbation, could silently impact your heart and mind, especially after the age of 65? As we grow older, we often focus on well-known aspects of health, such as maintaining a balanced diet, engaging in regular exercise, and nurturing social connections. These elements are frequently discussed as essential for a healthy life in our later years. However, there is one topic that rarely gets the attention it deserves: the way we approach solo intimacy. When practiced with mindfulness and care, this personal ritual can serve as a powerful tool for healing, relaxation, and overall well-being. Yet, when done without proper awareness, it can just as easily undermine the very systems we strive to protect as we age, such as our cardiovascular health, hormonal balance, and mental clarity. In this detailed exploration, we will delve into 5 common mistakes that people over the age of 65 often make during masturbation. These are small but significant choices that might be disrupting your energy, weakening your heart, and leaving your body more tense than relaxed. This discussion is not about judgment or shame. Instead, it is about gaining insight and understanding how to transform this private act into a moment of self-care that supports your health in a deeply meaningful way. Let us begin by considering the broader context of aging and how it affects our bodies. As we age, our physical systems undergo significant changes. Our blood flow slows down, our hormonal rhythms shift, and our hearts require more time to adapt to physical exertion, even during activities as private as self-pleasure. These changes are natural, but they mean that the habits we may have developed in our younger years might not serve us as well in our later decades. Masturbation, often seen as a simple act of release, can have profound effects on our physical and emotional well-being, depending on how we approach it. The choices we make during this personal time can either nourish our bodies or inadvertently cause strain, particularly for those over 65, whose bodies are more sensitive to stress and exertion. By understanding these effects, we can learn to engage in this act in a way that promotes relaxation, improves sleep, enhances blood flow, and fosters a stronger, more balanced connection between our body and mind. Stay with me as we explore these 5 mistakes in detail, because by avoiding them, you can reclaim your solo time as a space for restoration, not just a fleeting moment of release. The benefits of making these changes are significant: better sleep, improved circulation, and a renewed sense of harmony within yourself. One of the most common mistakes that people over 65 make when engaging in self-pleasure is treating it like a quick task to be completed, something to check off their daily list. Many individuals approach masturbation with a sense of urgency, dedicating just a few minutes to the act, seeking a quick release, and then returning to their routine. This hurried approach might seem efficient, but it can have unintended consequences for your health, particularly as you age. The truth is, when you rush through this intimate part of your life, you are not only missing out on the deeper pleasure that comes from a more mindful experience, but you may also be putting unnecessary stress on your heart, causing spikes in your blood pressure, and keeping your nervous system trapped in a cycle of tension, rather than allowing it to find relief. This is a critical point to understand, because your body at 65 does not function the same way it did at 30. The physiological changes that come with aging mean that your body needs a different approach to activities that involve physical exertion, even something as personal as masturbation. When you allow the experience of self-pleasure to unfold slowly, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest, digestion, and healing. This is the state in which your body can truly recover and restore itself. The parasympathetic nervous system helps lower your heart rate, reduce your blood pressure, and bring your body into a state of calm. This is where long-term health benefits are cultivated, where true relaxation begins. By contrast, when you rush, you keep your body in a state of sympathetic activation, the fight or flight response, which is the opposite of what you need for health and relaxation. The sympathetic nervous system keeps your heart rate elevated, your blood pressure high, and your muscles tense, all of which can leave you feeling drained rather than rejuvenated. For someone over 65, this prolonged state of tension can be particularly harmful, as it places unnecessary strain on an aging cardiovascular system. So the next time you find yourself hurrying through this personal act, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, why am I rushing? Is it a habit I have developed over the years? Is it a sense of shame or discomfort that makes me want to get it over with quickly? Or is it simply a desire to be done with it so I can move on to other tasks? Whatever the reason may be, understand that slowing down is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. It is one of the most important things you can do, not just for the sake of pleasure, but for the sake of your health. By taking your time, you allow your body to ease into the experience, to find a rhythm that supports your well-being, and to emerge from the act feeling restored rather than depleted. This small adjustment can have profound effects, helping you to sleep better, reducing stress on your heart, and fostering a deeper connection between your body and mind. Let us consider the broader implications of this approach. When you rush through masturbation, you are not just affecting your physical health, you are also missing out on an opportunity for emotional and mental renewal. This private act, when done with care, can be a moment of self-connection, a time to be fully present with yourself. By slowing down, you give yourself the chance to tune into your body's needs, to listen to its signals, and to respond with kindness. This mindful approach can help you feel more grounded, more centered, and more at peace with yourself. It can also improve your overall quality of life, as the benefits of relaxation and reduced stress extend far beyond the moment of self-pleasure. You may find that you sleep more deeply, that your mood is more stable, and that you feel a greater sense of calm throughout your day. In summary, rushing through masturbation is a common mistake that many people over 65 make, often without realizing the impact it can have on their health. By treating the act as a quick task, you place undue stress on your heart, spike your blood pressure, and keep your nervous system in a state of tension. This can lead to feelings of restlessness, poor sleep, and even physical discomfort, such as chest tension. However, by slowing down, focusing on touch, and breathing deeply, you can transform this experience into a moment of restoration. You can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, support your long-term health, and emerge from the act feeling calm and balanced. This is not about denying yourself pleasure. It is about enhancing it in a way that also nurtures your body and mind. As we move forward, we will explore the other mistakes that can undermine the benefits of self-pleasure and how to avoid them to create a healthier, more fulfilling experience. As we continue our exploration of the 5 common mistakes that people over 65 often make during masturbation, let us now turn our attention to a subtle but significant error that can have a profound impact on your health. This mistake might seem minor, something you barely notice in the moment, but its effects can be far-reaching, especially as you age. The second mistake we will discuss is the habit of holding your breath or over-tensing your body during self-pleasure. Many individuals, particularly those in their later years, fall into this unconscious pattern without realizing the toll it takes on their physical and emotional well-being. By understanding the mechanics behind this habit and learning how to adjust your approach, you can transform this private act into a moment of restoration rather than a source of strain. Let us delve into why this mistake is so detrimental and how you can avoid it to support your heart, your nervous system, and your overall health. When you engage in masturbation, the way you breathe and the way you hold your body play a critical role in how the experience affects you. It is easy to overlook these details, especially in the heat of the moment, but they matter more than you might think. Many people over 65, both men and women, develop a tendency to hold their breath or clench their muscles tightly during self-pleasure. This might happen without you even noticing it. Perhaps you are focusing so intensely on the physical sensations that you forget to breathe deeply, or maybe you instinctively tense your core muscles as you approach climax. These actions might seem insignificant, but they can have a major impact on your health, particularly as your body becomes more sensitive with age. Holding your breath or over-tensing your body sends signals to your heart and brain that you are under pressure, rather than in a state of pleasure, and this can lead to a cascade of physiological effects that undermine the benefits of the act. Let us break down why holding your breath is so problematic. When you stop breathing, even for a brief moment, your oxygen levels drop. This reduction in oxygen causes your blood vessels to constrict, which in turn increases your blood pressure and spikes your heart rate. For someone over 65, whose heart may already be more vulnerable to such changes, this can be more than just uncomfortable. It can be dangerous. Your cardiovascular system is less resilient than it was in your younger years, and sudden changes in oxygen levels or blood pressure can place unnecessary strain on your heart. This strain can manifest as a racing heartbeat, a feeling of tightness in your chest, or even a sense of unease that lingers long after the act is over. Over time, repeatedly subjecting your heart to this kind of stress can contribute to broader health issues, such as increased risk of cardiovascular problems or heightened anxiety, both of which can negatively impact your quality of life. The same principle applies to over-tensing your muscles. Many people, without realizing it, clench their abdomen, lower back or pelvic floor muscles during masturbation. This might feel natural, especially as you approach climax, but it can have unintended consequences. When you tense these muscles too tightly, you increase intra-abdominal pressure, which in turn raises your blood pressure even further. This tension also activates your sympathetic nervous system, often referred to as the fight or flight response. The sympathetic nervous system is designed to prepare your body for action in the face of danger, increasing your heart rate, tightening your muscles, and releasing stress hormones, like adrenaline. While this response is useful in emergencies, it is the opposite of what you want during a moment of self-pleasure. Instead of relaxing and enjoying the experience, your body starts reacting as if it is bracing for a threat, not savoring a moment of release. This state of heightened alertness can leave you feeling drained rather than restored, undermining the very purpose of the act. I recall a story about a 78-year-old man named Raymond, who experienced these effects firsthand. Raymond was a retired piano tuner, a man who remained active, sharp-minded, and emotionally open well into his later years. Despite his vitality, he often felt exhausted and depleted after his solo time, a feeling that puzzled him. He visited his doctor, who could not find anything physically wrong, but the mystery persisted. It was not until Raymond reflected on his habits that he realized what was happening. During masturbation, he had been unconsciously clenching his stomach and jaw, and his breathing had become short and shallow. These habits were putting his body under unnecessary stress, leaving him feeling more tired than relaxed. Once Raymond made a conscious effort to change his approach, the difference was remarkable. He began to focus on a slower rhythm, exhaling deeply and deliberately, and relaxing his muscles throughout the experience. Instead of feeling depleted, he found that the act left him calmer and more centered. Raymond's story highlights the importance of paying attention to your breath and your body during self-pleasure, especially as you age. So how can you avoid this mistake and create a more restorative experience? The key lies in mindfulness and intentionality. Start by simply noticing your breath. As you engage in self-pleasure, ask yourself, can I inhale fully through my nose? Can I exhale completely without strain? Let your breath move like a gentle wave, slow, smooth, and steady. This deep, rhythmic breathing helps to maintain your oxygen levels, keeping your blood vessels relaxed and your heart rate steady. It also sends a signal to your nervous system that you are safe, allowing you to shift from a state of tension to a state of relaxation. By focusing on your breath, you can prevent the spikes in blood pressure and heart rate that come from holding your breath, creating a more balanced and enjoyable experience. Next, pay attention to where you hold tension in your body. Are your shoulders raised? Is your jaw tight? Is your belly clenched? These are common areas where tension accumulates, often without us even realizing it. As you notice these areas, invite them to soften, let gravity take over, allowing your muscles to relax and release. The more you allow your body to soften, the less you force it to work, and the more it will respond with ease, rather than effort. This relaxation not only reduces the physical strain on your body, but also enhances the overall experience of self-pleasure. Masturbation is not just about physical release. It is about energetic balance, and your breath is the bridge that connects the two. The more you breathe deeply, the more your blood circulates, the more your muscles relax, and the more your nervous system settles. This is where the real benefits begin: a steadier heart rhythm, better sleep, and a body that feels safe and at ease in its own skin. Let us consider the broader implications of this approach. When you hold your breath or overtense your body, you are not just affecting your physical health, you are also impacting your emotional and mental well-being. The tension that builds up in your body can linger long after the act is over, manifesting as restlessness, irritability, or even a vague sense of unease. By contrast, when you breathe deeply and relax your muscles, you create a sense of calm that extends beyond the moment of self-pleasure. You may find that you sleep more deeply, that your mood is more stable, and that you feel a greater sense of peace throughout your day. This mindful approach to masturbation can also help you feel more connected to your body, fostering a deeper sense of self-awareness and self-care. It is a small adjustment, but one that can have profound effects on your overall quality of life. As we move forward, let us begin to explore the third mistake that people over 65 often make during masturbation: using excessive pressure or overstimulation. This habit, like the others we have discussed, can seem harmless at first, but it can have significant consequences for your health and well-being, particularly as your body changes with age. As we grow older, our sensation changes, the skin becomes thinner, nerve endings become less responsive, and circulation slows down. In response to these changes, many individuals increase the pressure, force, or intensity of their self-pleasure, often in an effort to compensate for reduced sensitivity. Whether it is pressing too hard, using numbing tools, or relying on high-intensity visual stimulation, this approach can do more harm than good. Over time, it can condition your nervous system to require more and more stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction. while reducing your natural ability to feel pleasure in more subtle, real-life ways. Let us examine why this habit is so problematic. As you age, the sensitive areas of your body become more delicate. The skin in these areas is thinner and less elastic, and the nerve endings are less responsive than they were in your younger years. At the same time, your circulation slows down, meaning that blood flow to these areas is not as robust as it once was. When you apply excessive pressure or use techniques that are overly aggressive, you are working against your body's natural rhythm. This can lead to desensitization, where your body becomes less responsive to touch over time. It can also cause delayed responses, meaning that it takes longer for you to feel pleasure, or even discomfort and micro-injuries that may go unnoticed until they begin to affect your daily life. For example, excessive pressure can cause irritation or small tears in the skin, which may not be immediately apparent but can lead to discomfort or sensitivity over time. I recall the story of a 69-year-old woman named Marjorie, who experienced these effects firsthand. Marjorie had started using stronger and stronger vibrational tools in an effort to feel something again, believing that this would help her recapture the sensations she remembered from her younger years. However, she began to notice troubling changes. Not only did she feel less during her solo time, but she also felt less in other areas of her life. She noticed a reduction in warmth and sensation during intimacy with others, and even simple touch, such as a hug or a handshake, felt less comforting than it once did. It was not until Marjorie scaled things back, returning to gentler methods like using her hands, soft textures, and a slower pace, that her sensitivity began to return. In fact, her sensitivity did not just return, it deepened, and so did her emotional connection to the experience. Marjorie's story is a powerful reminder that this is not about going backward or denying yourself pleasure. It is about moving forward with greater awareness, choosing methods that help your body tune in, rather than pushing it to shut down. The key to avoiding this mistake is to focus on quality over intensity. Your body is still capable of deep pleasure, but that pleasure comes from tuning into more subtle sensations, not from pushing harder. Think of it like listening to music. When the volume is too high, you miss the subtleties, the delicate notes, the layers of harmony, the nuances that make the music beautiful. But when the volume is just right, you can hear every detail, every tone, every layer. Your body works in a similar way. Gentle pressure, a slow rhythm, and varied touch all help your nervous system stay responsive and relaxed. They allow blood flow to increase naturally, without causing friction or damage, and they invite your mind into the process, not just your muscles. By choosing gentler methods, you can enhance your sensitivity, deepen your connection to your body, and create a more fulfilling experience overall. In summary, holding your breath or over-tensing your body during masturbation is a common mistake that can have significant consequences for your health, particularly after the age of 65. These habits reduce oxygen levels, increase blood pressure, and activate your sympathetic nervous system, placing strain on your heart and leaving you feeling depleted rather than restored. By focusing on deep, rhythmic breathing and relaxing your muscles, you can create a more balanced and enjoyable experience, one that supports your cardiovascular health, improves your sleep, and fosters a sense of calm. As we transition into the third mistake, we see that using excessive pressure or overstimulation can also undermine the benefits of self-pleasure, desensitizing your body and reducing your natural ability to feel pleasure. By approaching this act with mindfulness and care, you can avoid these pitfalls and create a space for healing and restoration. Continuing our journey through the 5 common mistakes that people over 65 often make during masturbation, we now turn our attention to 2 more critical errors that can undermine the potential benefits of this personal act. These mistakes, like the ones we have already explored, might seem minor at first glance, but their impact on your physical, emotional, and mental well-being can be significant, especially as you age. In this section, we will delve into the third mistake, using excessive pressure or overstimulation, a habit that can desensitize your body and diminish your natural ability to experience pleasure. Following that, we will explore the fourth mistake, ignoring emotional or mental discomfort, a practice that can deepen feelings of isolation and stress. By understanding these pitfalls and learning how to avoid them, you can transform your solo time into a nurturing experience that supports your health and fosters a deeper connection with yourself. The third mistake we will discuss is the tendency to use excessive pressure or overstimulation during self-pleasure, a habit that many people over 65 adopt as a response to the natural changes in their bodies. As we age, our sensation changes. The skin in sensitive areas becomes thinner and less elastic, nerve endings become less responsive, and blood circulation slows down. These changes are a normal part of aging, but they can make it harder to feel the same level of pleasure that you might have experienced in your younger years. In an effort to compensate for this reduced sensitivity, many individuals increase the intensity of their stimulation. They might press harder, use tools that deliver strong vibrations, or rely on high-intensity visual aids to heighten arousal. While this approach might seem like a solution in the moment, it can actually do more harm than good, leading to long-term consequences that affect both your physical health and your ability to experience pleasure. Let us examine why excessive pressure and overstimulation are so problematic. When you apply too much pressure or use overly aggressive techniques, you are working against your body's natural rhythm. The sensitive areas of your body, which are already more delicate after the age of 65, can become irritated or damaged by this intensity. For example, pressing too hard can cause micro-injuries to the skin, such as small tears or abrasions, which may not be immediately noticeable but can lead to discomfort over time. Similarly, using tools that deliver strong vibrations can overstimulate your nerve endings, causing them to become less responsive. Over time, this desensitization means that you need more and more stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction, creating a vicious cycle that reduces your natural ability to feel pleasure in more subtle real-life ways. This can affect not only your solo experiences but also your interactions with others, making it harder to enjoy simple touch or intimacy. Moreover, excessive stimulation can have broader effects on your nervous system. When you rely on intense methods to achieve arousal, you condition your body to expect a high level of stimulation, which can make it harder to feel satisfied with gentler, more natural sensations. This conditioning can lead to a delayed response, where it takes longer for you to feel pleasure or even discomfort, as your body struggles to keep up with the demands you are placing on it. For someone over 65 whose circulation is already slower and whose nerve endings are less responsive, this can be particularly problematic. The increased intensity can also cause friction or damage to the skin, further reducing sensitivity and creating a cycle of diminishing returns. Instead of enhancing your pleasure, excessive stimulation can leave you feeling numb, disconnected, and even frustrated as the act becomes more about achieving a goal than enjoying the experience. I recall the story of a 69-year-old woman named Marjorie, who experienced these effects firsthand. Marjorie had noticed that her sensitivity had decreased as she aged, and in an effort to recapture the sensations she remembered from her younger years, she began using stronger and stronger vibrational tools. She thought this would help her feel something again, but the opposite happened. Over time, she found that she was feeling less, not just during her solo time, but in other areas of her life as well. She noticed a reduction in warmth and sensation during intimacy with others, and even simple touch, such as a hug or a handshake, felt less comforting than it once did. It was not until Marjorie scaled things back that she began to see a change. She returned to using her hands, incorporating soft textures, and adopting a slower, more mindful pace. To her surprise, her sensitivity did not just return, it deepened. She also felt a stronger emotional connection to the experience, as she was able to tune into her body's needs more fully. Marjorie's story is a powerful reminder that this is not about denying yourself pleasure or going backward. It is about moving forward with greater awareness, choosing methods that help your body tune in rather than pushing it to shut down. So how can you avoid this mistake and create a more fulfilling experience? The key is to focus on quality over intensity. Your body is still capable of deep pleasure, but that pleasure comes from tuning into more subtle sensations, not from pushing harder. Think of it like listening to music. When the volume is too high, you miss the subtleties, the delicate notes, the layers of harmony, the nuances that make the music beautiful. But when the volume is just right, you can hear every detail, every tone, every layer. Your body works in a similar way. Gentle pressure, a slow rhythm, and varied touch all help your nervous system stay responsive and relaxed. They allow blood flow to increase naturally, without causing friction or damage, and they invite your mind into the process, not just your muscles. By choosing gentler methods, you can enhance your sensitivity, deepen your connection to your body, and create a more fulfilling experience overall. The next time you reach for stimulation, ask yourself, is this helping me feel more, or is it just making me numb? The difference matters, because the more you respect your body's changing sensitivity, the more it will reward you with depth, richness, and connection, even when you are alone. The fourth mistake we will explore is one that is often overlooked, yet it can have a profound impact on your overall well-being, ignoring emotional or mental discomfort during self-pleasure. While the physical aspects of masturbation are often the focus, the mind and emotions play just as critical a role in how we experience intimacy with ourselves, especially as we age. For many people over 65, feelings of loneliness, sadness, guilt, or even numbness can quietly surface during or after the act. These emotions might arise unexpectedly, catching you off guard in a moment that is supposed to be pleasurable. Instead of acknowledging these feelings, many individuals push through them, trying to override the discomfort by focusing harder on the physical sensations, or rushing toward a finish just to make the unease go away. However, this approach can deepen the very emotional wounds you are trying to avoid, leaving you feeling more disconnected and stressed in the long run. Let us consider why ignoring emotional discomfort is so detrimental. When you experience feelings of unease during self-pleasure, whether it is loneliness, grief, or a sense of guilt, these emotions are not just background noise. They are a fundamental part of your experience. They reflect your inner state, and they deserve to be acknowledged, not buried. When you push through these feelings, you disconnect from the part of yourself that is asking to be seen, comforted, or understood. This disconnection can have a ripple effect on your nervous system, increasing stress hormone levels and deepening the emotional isolation that many older adults are already vulnerable to. Over time, this pattern can lead to a lingering sense of unease that shows up in other areas of your life, such as restlessness, poor sleep, irritability, or even a quiet sense of shame. By ignoring your emotions, you rob yourself of the opportunity to process them, to heal, and to create a deeper connection with yourself. I recall the story of a 66-year-old man named Harold, who experienced this struggle after losing his wife a few years earlier. Harold still desired connection, both emotional and physical, but every time he engaged in self-pleasure, he felt a strange wave of guilt and grief that he did not know how to process. At first, he tried to ignore these feelings, hoping they would go away if he focused on the physical sensations. But the more he ignored them, the worse they became. The guilt and grief lingered, leaving him feeling more isolated and unsettled after the act. Eventually, Harold decided to take a different approach. He began taking a few quiet minutes before the act, not to analyze his feelings, but simply to acknowledge them. He would breathe deeply, name what he felt, loneliness, love, longing, and then move forward gently, carrying those feelings with him instead of fighting them. What changed was not just the experience itself, but the peace he felt afterward. Harold's story is a powerful reminder that self-pleasure does not mean turning your emotions off. In fact, it works better when you turn them on, allowing yourself to be fully present with all aspects of your experience. So how can you avoid this mistake and create a more holistic experience? The key is to pause and listen to yourself. If you find yourself feeling uneasy or disconnected before, during, or after the act, take a moment to stop. You do not need to fix anything or push the feelings away. Simply let that awareness be a form of self-care. Acknowledge what you are feeling, whether it is sadness, loneliness, or guilt, and give yourself permission to feel it. You can still feel desire and sadness at the same time. You can still feel lonely and alive. When you allow both emotions to coexist, something profound happens. Your body softens, your breath deepens, and the act becomes less about escape and more about self-connection. This mindful approach can help you process your emotions, reduce stress, and create a sense of inner peace that extends beyond the moment of self-pleasure. In summary, using excessive pressure or overstimulation during masturbation can desensitize your body, reducing your natural ability to feel pleasure and causing long-term harm to your sensitive areas. By choosing gentler methods, you can enhance your sensitivity and create a more fulfilling experience. Similarly, ignoring emotional or mental discomfort can deepen feelings of isolation and stress, undermining the potential benefits of self-pleasure. By pausing to acknowledge your emotions, you can create a more holistic experience that fosters connection and peace. As we move into the final part, we will explore the fifth mistake and reflect on how these small adjustments can transform your solo time into a space for healing and well-being. As we reach the final segment of our exploration into the 5 common mistakes that people over 65 often make during masturbation, we turn our attention to the last error that can disrupt your health and well-being. This mistake, like the others we have discussed, might seem like a harmless habit, but its impact on your sleep and overall energy can be significant, especially as you age. The 5th mistake we will explore is using masturbation as a sleep aid too close to bedtime, a practice that many older adults adopt without realizing the consequences. Following this discussion, we will reflect on the lessons learned and consider how these small adjustments can transform your solo time into a nurturing experience that supports your physical, emotional, and mental health. By understanding these pitfalls and making mindful changes, you can reclaim this personal ritual as a space for restoration, not just release and enjoy the benefits of better sleep, improved blood flow, and a deeper connection with yourself. The 5th mistake that many people over 65 make is turning to self-pleasure as a way to fall asleep, particularly right before bedtime. This is a quiet routine for many older adults, often taking place late at night after the house is silent and the lights are dimmed. The act might feel like a natural way to relax and drift off, a gentle ritual to ease you into sleep. While this approach might work for some, using masturbation too close to bedtime, especially as a habitual sleep aid, can actually disrupt the very rest you are trying to achieve. The reason lies in how your body and nervous system respond to stimulation and how these responses change as you age. By understanding the mechanics behind this habit, you can make adjustments that allow you to enjoy self-pleasure without compromising your sleep, creating a healthier balance for your body and mind. Let us examine why using masturbation as a sleep aid right before bed can be problematic. When you engage in self-pleasure, whether through physical touch, sensation, or mental imagery, you activate your brain's alert system. This activation increases your heart rate, raises your blood pressure, and triggers the release of certain hormones, such as dopamine and adrenaline. These physiological responses are a natural part of arousal, but they are designed to energize your body, not to calm it down. For a younger person, this burst of energy might dissipate quickly, allowing them to relax and fall asleep soon after. However, after the age of 65, your body's ability to return to a state of rest is slower. Your heart takes longer to return to its baseline rhythm. Your blood pressure takes more time to stabilize, and your melatonin cycle, the hormone that regulates sleep, can be delayed by the stimulation. What was meant to lull you to sleep can end up keeping you in a restless loop where you feel tired but not truly relaxed, making it harder to achieve the deep restorative rest you need. There is also an emotional layer to consider. If self-pleasure becomes a nightly habit tied to stress, loneliness, or boredom, your brain begins to associate bedtime not with rest, but with stimulation. Instead of winding down, your mind subtly starts preparing for activity, even if your body is exhausted. Over time, this pattern can weaken your natural circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs your sleep-wake cycle. When your circadian rhythm is disrupted, it becomes harder to fall asleep without stimulation, creating a dependency on self-pleasure as a crutch to initiate sleep. This dependency can lead to lighter sleep, more vivid dreams, and frequent awakenings during the night, leaving you feeling unrested despite your efforts to relax. For someone over 65, whose sleep patterns may already be more fragile due to aging, this can have a significant impact on your overall energy, mood, and health. I recall the story of a 72-year-old woman named Barbara, who experienced these effects firsthand. Barbara had developed a habit of using self-pleasure every night as a way to fall asleep, treating it almost like a ritual, similar to brushing her teeth before bed. At first, it seemed to work, helping her drift off more easily. However, over time, she began to notice troubling changes in her sleep quality. Her sleep became lighter, her dreams more vivid, and she often woke up in the middle of the night feeling restless, unable to return to a deep sleep. These disturbances left her feeling tired and irritable during the day, despite her intention to use the act as a sleep aid. It was not until Barbara made a conscious change that she began to see improvement. She started spacing out the experience, enjoying self-pleasure earlier in the evening, instead of right before bed. This shift allowed her body to fully relax afterward, without interfering with her sleep cycle. Her sleep quality improved dramatically, becoming deeper and more restful, and she no longer needed the act as a crutch to fall asleep. Barbara's story highlights the importance of timing when it comes to self-pleasure, especially as we age. So how can you avoid this mistake and create a healthier routine? The key is to move your self-pleasure to a different time of day, when your energy is still stable, your mind is still alert, and your body is not trying to shut down for the night. Consider engaging in the act earlier in the evening, perhaps after dinner or during a quiet moment, before you begin your bedtime routine. This timing allows you to enjoy the experience more fully, without the pressure of needing to fall asleep immediately afterward. It also gives your body the time it needs to return to a state of rest, ensuring that your heart rate, blood pressure, and hormone levels can stabilize before you go to bed. By separating self-pleasure from your sleep routine, you can transform it into a moment of connection and nourishment, rather than a tool for escape. It becomes a choice, not a compulsion, allowing your body to trust nighttime as a time for rest, not activity. Let us consider the broader implications of this approach. When you use self-pleasure as a sleep aid too close to bedtime, you are not just affecting your sleep, you are also missing out on an opportunity to engage with the act in a more intentional and fulfilling way. By moving the experience to an earlier time, you give yourself the chance to be fully present with it, to enjoy it as a moment of self-care, rather than a means to an end. This mindful approach can enhance the overall experience, making it more satisfying on both a physical and emotional level. It can also improve your sleep quality, which has far-reaching effects on your health, mood, and energy levels. Better sleep leads to better focus, reduced stress, and a greater sense of well-being, all of which are especially important as you age. This small adjustment can help you create a healthier rhythm for your body and mind, allowing you to rest more deeply and wake up feeling refreshed. As we bring this exploration to a close, let us take a moment to reflect on the lessons we have learned and the insights we have gained. Throughout this discussion, we have explored 5 common mistakes that people over 65 often make during masturbation: rushing through the experience, holding your breath, or over-tensing your body, using excessive pressure or overstimulation, ignoring emotional or mental discomfort, and using the act as a sleep aid too close to bedtime. Each of these mistakes, while seemingly minor, can have significant consequences for your physical, emotional, and mental health, especially as your body changes with age. However, by understanding these pitfalls and making mindful adjustments, you can transform your solo time into a space for restoration, not just release, and enjoy the benefits of better sleep, improved blood flow, and a stronger, more balanced connection between your body and mind. Take a quiet moment to consider what stood out to you the most. Was it the importance of slowing down and breathing deeply, allowing your body to ease into the experience without strain? Was it the surprising link between overstimulation and long-term sensitivity, and how gentler methods can enhance your pleasure? Or perhaps it was the reminder that your emotions matter just as much as your physical well-being, and that acknowledging them can create a deeper sense of self-connection. Whichever part resonated with you, remember this: the way you care for yourself in private often reflects how deeply you respect yourself overall. At this stage of life, your body is not failing, it is evolving. It is asking for slower rhythms, gentler touch, and more honest attention. This is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of wisdom, a call to listen to your body's needs with care and patience. You do not need to change everything all at once. Start with one small adjustment that feels right for you. Perhaps you begin by slowing down, taking your time to focus on touch and breath, allowing the experience to unfold naturally. Maybe you pay more attention to your emotions, pausing to acknowledge any discomfort and giving yourself permission to feel it fully. Or perhaps you shift the timing of your self-pleasure, moving it to an earlier part of the day to protect your sleep. Whatever change you choose, the key is to be present with your body, to listen to its signals, and to respond with kindness. The more present you are, the more your body will show up for you, rewarding you with strength, clarity, and peace. You have spent a lifetime navigating the noise of the world. Now is your time to listen inward, to honor yourself with the care and patience you deserve. Let us reflect on the broader significance of these lessons. Masturbation, often seen as a simple act of release, can be so much more when approached with mindfulness and intention. It can be a moment of self-care, a space to reconnect with your body, to process your emotions, and to nurture your well-being. By avoiding these 5 mistakes, you create an opportunity to heal, to restore, and to find peace within yourself. The benefits of this approach extend far beyond the moment of self-pleasure, influencing your sleep, your mood, your energy, and your overall quality of life. Better sleep leads to greater focus and reduced stress. Improved blood flow supports your cardiovascular health. A stronger connection between your body and mind fosters a sense of harmony and self-acceptance. These small changes, when practiced consistently, can have a profound impact, helping you to live more fully and vibrantly in your later years. As you move forward, carry these lessons with you. Treat your most personal rituals as moments of self-kindness, not just stimulation. Create space for real healing, not just momentary relief. Trust that you are still here, still worthy of showing up for, and still capable of experiencing deep pleasure and connection. Even as your body evolves, you have the wisdom to listen to your body's needs, the patience to make thoughtful changes, and the courage to honor yourself in the most private and meaningful ways. By doing so, you can reclaim your solo time as a space for restoration, a space where you can nurture your health, your heart, and your spirit, ensuring that you wake up each day feeling rested, rejuvenated, and ready to embrace life with all the vitality you have to offer.